It's Trickster Arthur on William coming up the hill.
Yeah, look at this. I am actually standing on the top of this horse. Yo, boy, go!
And, you know, when you hit that 17% grade, you're going to fall on your feet.
Yeah, well...
Batoonie.
I've got cleats on his hooves. Come on, William, let's go.
That's not good. Oh, God, I never know what Arthur's going to do next. But, boy, do we have a show for you people. Oh, my God, you got to listen.
Yeah, we're almost there. Hang on.
Get the horse up here. Come on.
All right. We're going. Come on, William, let's go. My buddy. All right, here we go. We'll get him in the barn.
The barn with him.
Yeah, here we go. All right, we got him in the barn. You got any oats up here for him? Come on, where are the oats?
Than oats?
You're supposed to have oats up here for him.
More than oats. I got an apple for him.
You got an apple? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
An apple a day keeps the horse in the barn.
Okay.
Also, I can maybe take one of the carrots out of the pile that I give to my little rabbit Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle? You heard him. He likes that apple. He's going for it. What's Kerfuffle doing?
Well, he lives under our hot tub and he comes out when he sees the carrots.
Kerfuffle the rabbit lives under the hot tub. Okay?
He does.
Right.
He's pretty cute.
That's on the opposite side of the house from the unicorn pen.
Right.
Right. So does Kerfuffle have any buddies?
I don't know, but, you know, I've heard stories about rabbits.
Yeah, Kerfuffle lights? What do we call that whole little clutch?
Yeah, they multiply very fast.
That's what I heard. They are masters of fecundity.
And there's been this white jackrabbit hanging around. I mean, can regular rabbits and white jackrabbits get together?
I'm not an expert on rabbit intercourse, but you never know.
Oh, my God. We're talking about... Let's turn the channel. You know what I want to talk about today? What? Oh, my God. Sarah Palin endorsed Donald Trump, and I did the charts, and I did her chart, and oh, my God, have I got some predictions for you.
What? They're going to date?
No. They're dating. They're dating in politics.
Yes.
They're political date material in politics. And as I was looking at that's kind of what I meant. Charts, I was thinking, man, there's a lot of joy between them. They both have 29-degree Leo ascendants, and they both have the same midheaven. Their progressed moons are in different places. But I was thinking, oh, my God, what if Sarah Palin became the VP choice? What would that do to her? And I swear it's easy to see.
Really?
And you hear it here, folks. If this happens, it's in the stars. Stars are ruled by free will choice.
You know we're going to have to copyright this because we know what happened the last time we made some kind of an announcement about Donald Trump being George Patton.
Yep, everybody stole it. Can you believe it? Why people would steal your material? You know?
Yeah, I mean, we can look at the dates. Gene, you actually looked at the dates, right? And it looked like all the other YouTube videos that had come out, Facebook posts, all that was post our announcement on the air right here at the Trek Upward radio show. You heard it first. And there she is. Gene, are you there? She's pulling her charts up right now. I think she got lost.
I'm pressing numbers right now.
You know what? You need a technology expert to help you out. I think that's... Go find your struggle.
One. I thought you were one of those guys.
Oh, it is me. That's right. Sorry.
Oh, God. I'm really worried. You know, after a certain age, and he's not even up to that age yet, the first thing to go is your memory.
What?
He's forgotten who he was. Every time I talk to Arthur, I have to ask him to pull his wallet out and check and make sure it's him.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. It's me. I'm telling you, it's me. Although I have been confused by other psychics at various different times in my life who said that I was somebody else.
Never go to a psychic.
Oh,
you know what a psychic does is they plant seeds in your head, and they make you think of it like for 5 years. My psychic said this, and it never happens.
Oh, totally.
You want to use astrology because it's based on math. It's based on the pull of the moon and the tides on you. You're 90% water, so the moon pulls on you and creates mood swings up and down all day long, and you can actually mathematically, you can use the clock to time what time your tide's coming in and going out. What's really interesting with Donald Trump and Sarah Palin is they've got Jupiter trine their midheaven as they made that announcement. Jupiter rules far away, and they're both in the fields of Iowa, in the cornfields of Iowa, Ames, Iowa, where John Wayne was born, you know? Another funny thing that happened that day is John Wayne's daughter came out and endorsed Donald Trump as well.
Woohoo!
So John Wayne would love Donald Trump.
Well, I'll tell you, Pilgrim. That's right.
Yep. So Sarah, she was so bubbly and joyous, and that's Jupiter, you know. She's crusader for a cause. When she decides to do something, she is like the great drama queen.
By golly, she is.
She's pretty cute, too. I like her.
She's funny.
I actually missed, when I heard her talking, I actually missed hearing her, because I remember in 2008, you know, with her and McCain.
Oh, my God. That one, when she gave that one speech at the convention, she just basically sealed, you know, she was at such a level, and that speech just opened up her charisma to the rest of the country. Now, there's a lot of people.
She was
that
a
don't
breath
like
of fresh air.
Well, yeah, we were getting something that was kind of truth. It's a shame that she didn't go further with it, but you know, and that she became.
Well, maybe it wasn't her time. Maybe that was just the introduction to her. You know, she's a light bearer. When I say light bearer, what's a light bearer? A light bearer is somebody full of joy, full of honorability, wants to do walk the moral road. Yeah, none of us are perfect, but you know, the fact that is her priority, to walk the moral road, you know, that makes her better. How many politicians want to walk the moral road, you know?
Yeah. Not very many. Probably
Guess
count them.
What?
What?
We went and saw Benghazi last night.
The actual whole country?
Benghazi, you know, the movie.
Okay. Yes,
oh
I know
my
about
God,
the
what
movie.
It's a true story. And I tell you, when we were done with that movie, even though they never mentioned Hillary Clinton, I just wanted to call her up and just, Hillary, what is your deal? Why wouldn't you answer your emails? Those people were about ready to die, and a lot of them did. Megyn Kelly interviewed three of the heroes of that particular, you know, those, what were they called? SEALs, Navy SEAL. Were they Navy SEALs or what were they?
Navy SEALs, probably.
Oh, my God. They were amazing men. They've all resigned from the CIA now, you know, because they're so traumatized. But in one scene, this is a true story, one of the women CIA agents called the Air Force and they said, "What authority do you have to ask us to bring planes over?" And she said, "I'm an American, you know, come and make some noise."
Did she really say that? She swore?
Yeah, she swore.
Really?
And I'm sorry, I don't usually say words like that, audience, just so you know. I was quoting her. And I mean, it's the truth. You're an American, you know. Obama isn't protecting us Americans. You know, he doesn't care. You know, the sound of those F-16s flying over would have scared the tar out of those. I think it was Al-Qaeda. It was Al-Qaeda, or am I saying that right? The Al-Qaeda terrorists who were attacking the Benghazi base. The you know, they killed the diplomat there, Stevens or whatever his name is.
Yes.
Did you see the movie yet?
No,
Arthur?
I haven't seen it yet.
You gotta go see it. I cried. I was so upset. And it just infuriated me because I just wanted to shake Obama. What is wrong with you? Are you a Muslim? Are you what is your deal? I mean, are you trying to destroy America? You like this? You like when America people are being attacked and you don't want to protect us? What the heck is the deal there?
Oh, don't get me started.
Come on, get you started. I am infuriated about it.
Well, here, you got to back up.
I think he's got an agenda.
Yes, it's not him. See, this is the problem. The problem is the fallen angels interject what it is that they want into, you know, American politics. So what has happened is you have all these guys that know how to play this game. So they've created a two-party system. So it's like watching Punch and Judy at a puppet show. So there's somebody above that's actually controlling the strings. So you got the Republican Party on one hand, and you've got the Democratic Party on the other hand, and you've got these hands up above that are causing these two to fight with each other. So we have an issue. The issue is that we've got two sides of this equation, and you've got the puppeteer up there. So I was talking about Republicans and the Democrats, and so you have these people that are fighting and infighting, and we have this during the election process. But everybody, you got to stop and look at the guy behind the curtain, the puppets that are up there at the top. For example, Marco Rubio was selected by the power elite to be a part of this election years ago. Just in case Jeb Bush didn't work out. And lo and behold, this is what we're seeing. So we're dealing with the same kind of thing over and over and over again. You don't realize the game is rigged. And people are going to say, "Oh, Arthur, that's so anti-American," or whatever. And I'm telling you, I was, in the Iowa caucuses.
I know you were in the caucuses.
And
actually talked about that in several shows.
Yep, a delegate in the caucuses. And I'm telling you, folks, you can sit here and debate politics until William comes home or the cows come home, but we have to face the issues that are behind it. And this is what's causing the problem in the country. It's just like the Wizard of Oz. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. And that's the guy that's controlling the knobs. And so everything is going to this point. That's the problem in this country. Right. It's not the left. It's not the right. It's the people that are orchestrating the battle between the two. So think of it like the Roman Colosseum. We got the lions on one side, the Christians on the other, and the Romans in the middle were the guys that threw them both together and made the problem. Bread and circus. And that's what's happening.
George Soros. And he supposedly sponsored Obama. Furthermore, he owns all the voting booths. Did you know he had those things built and rigged?
Yeah,
George
that's my
Soros.
point.
Make prayers that he not influence this election in any way, shape, or form.
There was a guy that had actually done the programming on those machines that went before Congress and admitted to the fact that there were back doors in that software that counts the votes. What happened to that testimony? Do you think CNN and all those put it on? No, of course they didn't. Remember, there are 5 major corporations that control all radio and TV in this country. And they also changed the broadcasting from analog to digital. Again, the reason is copying, digitizing it, and having control over the airwaves. There are no analog TV stations left.
Scary.
It is scary. And we got to stop, looking at what's up front and looking at the battle and go behind the scenes and find out what the heck is going on. And that's what we need.
I know one thing.
What?
I know one thing.
What's that?
That is all of the people that are running on the Republican side, except for Trump, have a tie to the CFR. And in Ted Cruz's case, his wife is a member of the CFR. And I thought that was very interesting. Trump is not. So, and I know George Soros is a multi-billionaire. I mean, he owns, half the planet.
Most of them are. I mean, look at the Bush family.
But they're not. And today I read an article somewhere in a Political Insider or someplace about the fact that all the billionaires are getting together, freaking out because Donald Trump is so popular, and this is going to affect their game plan. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's why Sarah loves Trump, because finally he's an American voice, mom's apple pie. He's definitely, he's the diamond in the rough, but he's telling the truth and he's getting people talking about the subjects nobody talks about, such as the Muslim refugees. My God, do you know what they're doing in Sweden and Norway and Germany? They're walking down the street raping the women, because that's what they have been taught that that's what they can do in society. So now they're opening this school room where all these refugees have to go in and take classes on how to act in the public domain. They can't just walk up and rape a woman.
No, that doesn't
Can you believe
sound like
that?
Yeah, well, that doesn't sound like a good thing. Jeez.
Well, the Muslims think it's okay to rape a woman. I mean, that is bizarre.
Now, can you honestly, seriously, can you honestly say that is taught? I mean, you say all the Muslims, that you're pretty much generalizing about that. I'm sure there's a lot of Muslims out there that don't feel that way. Exactly.
But we're talking about from rogue nations, like from Africa, from Libya, those places where there isn't a high educational level, but it's okay. They think that it's okay to do that because they've been doing it forever in Africa. you know.
Okay.
And they really treat women badly. Oh my gosh. No wonder they dress in black. You know, they're in mourning.
Well,
they're so sad.
It's a pretty tough thing, you know, to blend two cultures together. So why does Obama do these kind of things? Why is this stuff going on? We're back to the puppeteers again. The whole idea was the United States was founded on divine principles. It was the founding fathers were all, you know, they talk about the Masons or the Masonic. Well, now what has happened is that there's been so much bad press that they're making the Masonic organizations look like the Illuminati because they've been infiltrated. And so they're taking all these divine symbols that were used back during that time and making them look like they are all part of the Illuminatis because the Illuminati is hijacking those symbols. And those symbols that are on the dollar bill were never meant to do anything other than to show the American public what it is that America was supposed to stand for. So when you see the uncompleted pyramid on the dollar, it doesn't mean Big Brother watching you. The uncompleted pyramid represents the all-seeing eye of God releasing the capstone of the divine plan for America on top of it so that the generations to come could see that their mission was to bring the divine plan for America into the physical. And so what has happened is the Illuminati has stolen that symbol, and they've taken, I get real worked up about this. They've taken that symbol and they've taken that third eye that is supposed to be the vision of our divine plan fulfilled for America and turned it into Big Brother NSA watching you. And so if you don't think that this is the case, they did the same thing during World War II. The Nazi symbol of the swastika was a divine symbol in Buddhism that represented the wheel of life. So the Nazis, the Illuminati or the Dark Forces, flipped that sign over and twisted it. And so, Nostradamus even called it the Crooked Cross. So you see that flipped. You think I'm kidding? Go out to Google and do swastika Buddhism, and you'll see ancient pictures of the swastika, but it's square. You know, it's not turned and it's not crooked. So then you see it. So you will see how they have taken those symbols. So unfortunately, Alex Jones, I disagree with you, sir. You know, you're saying all this stuff about it, but what you don't see is you do not see the divine symbolism that was released that has now been hijacked. And I use that word, guardedly, but it has been hijacked. So people think that these Illuminati symbols are Illuminati symbols. They are not. They were divine symbols given to us as Americans. In God we trust. That was what was to be given to us because the founding fathers, and I know them very well from history, that the founding fathers knew that there was a divine, they called it divine providence. The divine providence was to be fulfilled for this country, and it is being hijacked. Okay, I'm done.
Well, that's exactly what Donald Trump said. Actually, a couple days ago, he gave
Did he really?
A rally, and he said the Christianity is being hijacked now. The Muslims, and it's happened before. The Muslims went after the Christians and tried to put them out.
So there you are. I'm all fired up about that.
Yeah, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Christianity is this crusade, this fight continually, with the Middle Eastern Meldekians, re-embodied Meldekians.
So I want everybody who's listened to this show to take out a bill from their wallet and take a look at it or their purses and look at those symbols and remember what we said, what I said, that is the divine symbol of the all-seeing eye of God lowering the capstone, which is the completion of the divine plan for America, on top of the pyramid, which was built by those who went before. So that was what the founding fathers were trying to show, and that's what the true Masonic feeling is behind all this. It was to build upon this so that the divine plan would be fulfilled for America, which means everybody would have the opportunity to fulfill their divine plans, to be able to walk in their Christhood or their Buddhahood or their Hinduhood or their,
Muslimhood
and anything else, to be able to fulfill what they needed to fulfill so that they could complete what they needed to, and as a mandala, which is a group of people, our nation, to come forward and to bring that forth. There is a group of people that do not want to see that happen because they know that's the antithesis, and that's where the Illuminati and all that stuff come from. If anybody has any questions...
Actually, you can go back to some of our other shows and listen to this. Arthur gets very deep into it in a couple of other shows that we've done before. I think it was the show on... what was the name of that? Anyway, it's in our archives, so if you want to know more about this... You know, my grandpa was a Mason.
Well, yeah, my dad was a Mason. He was a 33rd degree Mason.
Cool.
Yep.
And they say when you get to the 33rd degree, it's like the fork in the road happens. You either get to go... But then, guess what? Heaven and hell are all inside of you. You are the creator and destroyer of your world. You are a God in the making, and you know it not. So...
There's a lot of good Masons out there. There's a lot of good people and a lot of good hearts.
Absolutely.
You know, so...
Absolutely.
In fact, I was given a gift of a Masonic sword, which is very nice, a very large one, and I treasure that. It's very nice. But now, you hear that word...
Why don't you take a picture of it and put it on our YouTube?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, I should take a picture of that. So anyway, but please, so everybody, please know this. And so where are you getting the message that all this stuff is bad? You're getting it from the press that's controlled by the same people that made it bad.
Media, as
Hello?
Says, media are big they're all big liars.
Okay.
They are.
So
it's
with that
sad.
said, and this is what interests me, Gene, in the astrology, can Sarah and Donald pull it off? Do they have enough?
Absolutely.
Do they have enough?
They got the best astrology I've seen between two people in forever. Absolutely, they can pull it off. Sarah, you know, if you saw when she was endorsing him, she was so full of joy. You just felt this impact of light, you know, and a raising of the... I mean, there was so much joy. It was amazing. Even and I was looking at Donald Trump as he stood next to her. He stood there for 20 minutes and let her talk. And he just had his hands down by his side, and he never moved. He just smiled occasionally at her and was looking at the audience. And I thought, oh, my God, this man is such a strong man, and he's all alone. You know, he's taking this on his big shoulders, this whole, you know, evil that has infiltrated our government and our walls of politics and all the things that have been happening. And he's just taking it on. It's just, I read his aura like a, you know, I just studied him standing there, and I was amazed at what I saw. And then I went and I thought about Alexander the Great. And I pulled up some faces of Alexander the Great, and I was looking at it. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, that even looks like Trump. So we got Patton, we got Alexander the Great, we got some lifetimes of a man who has come to the rescue. Oh, my gosh.
Hannibal.
Think about this.
Hannibal's another one.
Hannibal, yeah, Hannibal. This guy knows how to do battle with the fallen ones, the bad guys. He's ready to duke them out. You know, he's John Wayne multiplied 5 trillion times, you know?
Wait a minute. Do you know there's actually evidence that John Wayne was, I mean, if you take a look at Sitting Bull. We talked about that, right? John Wayne and Sitting Bull were the same soul. There's a picture of Sitting Bull that is identical to John Wayne. When you see the two of them together, it's just like, it's absolutely amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Sitting Bull and John Wayne.
You know, and I think about this, you know, because Bill Clinton was Theodore Roosevelt or Franklin Roosevelt, one of them. One of the Roosevelts that was, God.
Well, we know that he wasn't.
There was one Roosevelt that was good and one that was bad, but they...
You thinking about Teddy Roosevelt?
The one that was married to Eleanor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Franklin.
Is that Franklin?
Franklin D.
And
only
Chelsea
president,
was...
What, 4... He had 4 terms? Died in office on his last term?
Yeah, so see, what he's trying to do now is keep himself in office by getting his wife in office. Because he's just like hovers around the White House. I love it. Somebody said they were going to keep Hillary from entering within 10 miles of the White House. But anyway, Chelsea was actually Eleanor Roosevelt, and we talked about that in another show. And if you look at the pictures, you can see the resemblance so much. But the reason that she came in as his daughter was because he went out on her so many times in that lifetime. You know, she didn't want it hurt her really bad. So as the daughter, she could just feel that unconditional love. But he's, oh my God, they're coming out of the woodwork and going after Bill again. If you've noticed the headlines everywhere, it's like women are accusing him of rape and how can he support Hillary? And Hillary is, oh my God, an enabler and, you know.
Well, we can, that's a whole subject for a whole different show. There's.
Yeah, I don't have bodyguards, you know.
Yeah.
I do have some bears, though, in my neighborhood. So, and they do keep an eye on me.
You have bears.
Real bears.
Yes.
So don't come and mess with me at my studio, 5,600 feet.
That's right. There are bears there. Bears. They actually ate a unicorn the other day.
Yeah, it was air.
Well, do you see them there?
There's no such thing as unicorns.
Well, they're gone. The bears ate them. Well, we got fired up here on this political show. Boy, this isn't your warm and fuzzy show, is it? Golly.
No, but you know, something warm and fuzzy to talk about is, you know, if I were to walk down the street and I ran into a Syrian refugee or a refugee from Africa or Libya, and they did what they did, you know, asked, you know, just tried to, you know.
What?
I mean,
first word.
I don't know
Sounds
what I would do.
What?
Yeah.
What
I
if
mean, one of the women that they attacked in Germany happened to have her iPhone on.
Yeah.
And her, you know, video camera going, and got all the words that they were saying. And, you know, I mean, they truly thought it was okay for them to do that. So not only do we have to deal with ISIS sneaking in amongst these refugees, we also have to deal with people who don't have a consciousness of good manners or respect for women, which is, you know, of course, this is the age of Aquarian. This is the age of the woman.
This is
coming
the
into
of the age.
Age of
We already
Aquarius.
talked about rock music. Not good.
Oh, is that? Yeah. So anyway,
so my point is so if these guys start showing up on our streets, we're thinking that we're in for a world of hurt because of
we're
the
in for, you know, they don't understand our culture, and they have their own culture, and it is two different worlds, very much so. And, you know, I think that this is the other way that these powers that be, like the George Soros, create that divide and conquer on a planet. They get us to sympathize, you know, with these people who are actually born in their nations for a reason, because they aren't able to hold the line in the realm of the same moral principles that we have. They're in their countries because that's a way that God puts borders around people to make sure that, you know, they have their opportunity to evolve the way they need to evolve, and we can evolve the way we need to evolve, and that we don't interrupt with each other. But here we got these fallen ones among us, these Nephilim, who knows, nightmares, like, you know, taking these people who do not belong here and dumping them upon us. And then let the chaos and the mayhem begin, basically, is what they're saying. And that is the reason that I know that we are headed for World War III, besides the astrology that I look at and I see it coming.
Not to mention an internal conflict. I mean, that would do nothing but start all sorts of civil unrest. And
oh my gosh, and that's what he loves. He backs the all the kids that are rioting. You know, he like incites them. He pays people to go and, you know, hold their posters up and, you know, get violent. You know, he pays them to do that.
Pretty scary. Yeah. Pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say so much of this, but I mean, I did a bunch of research on it. I've got the astrology and I compare the two, and I'm like, oh my God. How is the world going to know about this unless somebody says something? I guess I'm kind of like Trump. I'm going to wear my foot in my mouth here and say all this, and it's blunt. And I hope that none of those guys hear me, because I don't want to get in trouble with them. You know, I don't want them coming after me. But, I mean, we got a reality check here, and we got to get somebody tough who knows. And I think that Trump knows their agenda. And that's why he isn't a member of the CFR. And that is why he is doing what he's doing in the realm of the branding of his own world and exposing this stuff a little bit at a time, but yet bluntly and very loudly.
Well, think about this too, Gene. I mean, how else could you get? I mean, if you were going to try to put a, you know, it's no accident his name is Trump. You know, if you were going to create a Trump card, how would you have to do it? Well, you'd have to have somebody that wasn't dependent upon the money coming from those same sources, that wasn't dependent on, you know, the media coming from those same sources, that isn't dependent on that, and that's why that's thrown such a monkey wrench into the works. Because these, I mean,
it's shaking in their boots.
Totally,
shaking
because
in their boots.
You got a guy that is using his own money. You know, he doesn't answer to any of CNN or special interest groups or big oil or anything like that. People recognize him because he was on a reality show and he was popular on the TV show, and they know that they don't put up with junk. I mean, so
and he knows how to run a business.
Exactly. So there's a lot of people out there, ooh, you know, this guy's, you know, nothing but garbage for the country and all this. And you see these kind of things. But if you were to fix this other bigger problem, and you were to see this bigger problem, and then you see somebody like him coming in here, this is the best shot we got. It's the best shot we got.
He is the best shot. You got that right. He is the best shot we got.
All right.
I can tell you, he's a good shooter.
Okay, so then what happens here? So then you get somebody like Sarah coming up behind her, who is just radiates a lot of bubbly light that some people don't like, you know, but she's carrying a lot of
people do like, though. A lot of people do like.
Yes.
Her.
Yeah. Yes. And so she's coming behind it. She's bringing a lot of stuff in there. And I'm telling you, they don't like this, you know. So even today, for example, Marco Rubio is going to be in Davenport. He's going to be in this area. I have an opportunity to go see him this afternoon. And I'm debating on whether or not I really want to, you know.
Well, you know, there'll only be 10 people there. You know, Trump's rallies, there's thousands of people there. You know?
Exactly.
Always, consistently. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was a rough show. I mean, we come down on this and we're talking about, but we've discussed this, and we really need to do something that will, what's the word I'm looking for? We need a new revolution in this country. And I'm not talking about guns, and I'm not talking about, you know, shooting, and I'm not talking about that kind of thing. We need a revolution of higher consciousness. We need people to open up and to take a look, and even just be willing to ask the question, what is truth? And if
my God, I got to tell you, Trump was talking the other day, and he said that person's making karma.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. And then I loved hearing that, because that means he knows the difference. He knows what it is to make karma. You can actually make a free will choice and do something bad. It's your free will choice, and it's in your control.
I'm wondering if this guy's listening to our shows. That would be funny.
Furthermore, here's something else. I read The Art of the Deal, his book, you know, and I'm still in it. But he talks about, he had this vision to build this mystical feeling Trump Tower in New York.
Are you serious?
And that's why, yeah. He's mystical. I can't believe he's using these words. Oh my God. So, you know.
We know who Gene's voting for. We know who
You bet. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Some people, you know, here's what's going to happen in the voting.
Yeah.
The Democrats are going to get into their booth. You know, they're going to cuss Trump all the way to the booth. And when they get inside the booth, they're going to vote for Trump. You watch. It's going to happen, because some people are afraid to say, because he's a diamond in the rough. They're afraid to say, "Oh, Trump, I'm for you." You know, I'm not afraid. I vote for Donald Trump. He is amazing. I know his chart like the back of my hand. I've studied it for hours, tearing it apart. And he is like this rose that is budding, you know, in his mouth. You know, think about it. Go study Patton's life. You know, the guy did a great deed for America. So he's got the good karma, you know, even though he had a terrible mouth, and he definitely, you know, needs, you know, whatever.
Well, what he did was he spoke his mind. I studied a lot about Patton in World War II.
That's what it is.
But he is the guy that spoke his mind. And what's interesting about this
Trump
is
speaks his mind.
Well, of course, one of the classic Patton, you know, things is the movie by George C. Scott, and we know that George C. Scott did Patton, but he really didn't do Patton the way Patton was Patton. I mean, if you listen to him in some of his speeches, he has a very high voice. Patton had a very high voice, almost feminine at sometimes, the way that came across in its quality. And he used to practice his face, you know, so that he would, you know, put on his mean face in front of the troops and everything. But George C. Scott played him differently because of the fact that George C. Scott didn't have a voice like George Patton had. But the scenes and everything else that are in that movie were spot on. So the characterizations that they were showing and his interactions with people were spot on. And the biggest problem that he had was he would say something, then the press would grab it and use it against him. So he was almost fired during World War II. He was almost fired. It literally took, Congress wanted his head, a whole bunch of people did, because of the press vilified him. And the next thing you know, he made some kind of a comment about the Russians. And the next thing you know, there were movements in the country trying to get rid of the guy because of the way that he was portrayed in the press. So please, people, when you see these things, look at what the press is doing. It's propaganda.
They're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying. They're
the best
liars.
way you can get to the bottom of somebody's character, obviously, is to spend time with them, but you will know them by their works, and you get a great shot by doing what Gene did. You know, you look at their astrology, you can see what they're like, you get some characterization.
Yeah, you can get the real story. You know, it's really amazing to me how the press will not show the crowds whenever they're watching Trump in his rallies.
Right.
He has to literally cuss them out to get them to turn the cameras to show how big the crowds are. I mean, it's crazy. He says that 25% of them are honest, the rest of them are liars. And I believe it because I've watched his rallies and then I've watched what they've said in the news about him, and it's like two different things. And it's like, oh my God.
Okay.
Also, they read teleprompters. They have to read from teleprompters, so they're told what to say over the news. Mm-hmm. You know, have you ever noticed how Megyn Kelly or Bill O'Reilly, they kind of look at, it almost looks like they're looking at you, but really they're not. They're reading this teleprompter, you know? I mean, they have to say what they're told to say.
I actually had an opportunity. I had an opportunity at one point to actually do it was a political, for a TV station in New Hampshire. It was in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I actually had an opportunity to sit behind a news desk and actually read, you know, well, it was a political piece that I had done in rebuttal to what was being shown on the TV, and at the time it was about the Soviets or something like this, and so I had written this rebuttal, sent it into the TV station, you know, where they always invite opposing points of view. So I came in as an opposing point of view, and what was interesting, when I went to the TV station, they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't have anybody that would come up with an opposing point of view. So we got over there, and I sat behind it, and my whole opposing point of view was up on a teleprompter, so I was actually able to read the teleprompter as it went by. So you're looking right at the camera, but what you're looking at is you're looking at the words. So it looks as if you're looking, but you're actually reading the words in front of it. So Iowa, the delegation, after they went down to Florida, all the stuff was preset to Romney. So we found out from the delegations that actually went down there that they were not allowed to even bring up Ron Paul's name in that election, even though there were enough state delegates to be able to get him on the ballot. And so that was where it stopped. It ended right there. And that's the problem with the two-party system. So if you control the party at the top on both sides, you control the whole entire outcome. So you have this little fight, you know, at our levels and at the district levels and at the regional levels. But then by the time you get to the national level, it's capped off. And you can't get beyond that thing. And so it's all controlled.
Well, yeah, the point is the media is not saying what the media, you know, maybe the individual doesn't really want to say that, but they're being told that they have to say these things.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But if you want to do something about this situation, you know, the greatest ammunition you have is your spiritual ammunition. And angels, if you believe in angels, which are angles of God's consciousness, angles of God's energy, you can actually invoke them with the word and putting power and love into the word. See Archangel Michael encircle people like and those who are trying to take and break America by bringing chaos and mayhem and putting societies together that don't belong together because they have different forms of karma to work out. Call for angels, brigades of angels, see legions and legions of angels, just like a great big army encircling these foul ones who are in our political system, who smile and look you directly in the eye, but yet they're nothing but evil within. And I know this is a strong statement, but call to these angels to encircle this energy so that we can go into a golden age, which is what America is destined to be, a great golden age, an age of high technology, high morals, high amazement. a golden age. Just think about the word golden age. So get Archangel Michael on it. Be specific. Go after him. The names, name the people that you know that are bad, and always say, according to God's holy will, let it be done. But be specific. You write the letters, burn the letters. That's how God gets his mail, is if you write the letter with heart and burn it and give it to him. And also say it. You know, you could say something like, in the name of Almighty God, I call for the absolute encirclement of and all his foul energy that is trying to take down America and her freedom, her stance on freedom, according to God's holy will. I mean, that's just a little teeny prayer, but you can make it big and long and loud and passionate. And the angels will hear you, and they will do it because they have to.
prophecyisgiven.com. Go out there, and there's also calls that you and your friends can get together and make with me that are listed there for these actual subjects. And I'll keep adding agreement calls, which is what we call these, where you get 2 or 3 together to make these calls for this direct intervention of the angelic realms into these situations. And I guarantee you that things can change. Gene can guarantee you that things change, because we have been here after we have seen these things change. But we need more people. We need people to be able to be willing to ask for the truth, to see the truth, and take a stand for the truth. And so please go ahead and check that out, www.
When you're asking, though, you're asking God, not Arthur or Gene. You're asking God.
Correct. Yeah, all right. Clarification there, but I think that's pretty clear if you read the prayer, and you'll see it in there. You're asking everybody, everybody that can help.
My attention span is short.
So, yeah, you'll see it in the prayers over there that you'll be calling for all those that have graduated from Earth Schoolroom to come down and help and assist us to be able to break this open. And if we wonder why things are the way that they are, check out the introductory series on that website, and it will explain why things are the way they are. And there are reasons for it, why God hasn't intervened yet. So please check that out. I think you'll find it illuminating. And
you know what I did is I posted a meditation, a really cool violet flame meditation on my website, astrologygenehart.com, for everyone. You know, it's about 5 minutes long, and it's just really peaceful, and it calms you down. And if you do this meditation first and then you make the call, you're centered in your heart, and your delivery may be much more impacting. So I encourage you to try out that meditation, see how you like it.
Give me the link to that page, Gene, or to that, and I'll make sure that it's on
AstrologyGeneHart. Oh, okay.
Yeah, to the meditation.
AstrologyGeneHart.com.
Yeah.
But it also, the link would be the visual. It's called Meditation and Visuals.
Okay. All right.
On the page.
All right, so I'll go out there, I'll grab that link, and I'll put it on the Trek Upward radio show as part of this show.
Oh, cool.
All right?
Cool.
And so what we're doing, too, is any recommendations that we have, we're going to put at the bottom of each of our shows. So please, if you're listening to this on YouTube, go back out to the Trek Upward radio show. There's a link in the YouTube so that you can go back and do that, and we'll make sure that you can get to all these sources that we're talking about.
Oh, there's another thing. We have a lot of people that have been requesting to be on the show. Several book authors and different people from here and there. And we are working on getting that technology set up. So please be patient with us, all you who are listening and waiting to be on our show. We will have you on as soon as we get this, perfected. You might say the technology perfected. Because we don't want you to sound, we want you to sound clear in the realm of what you have to say, and we're excited that you want to be on our show.
Oh, absolutely. This is good.
So, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up, and I think I hear William some weird noises.
Yeah, he's definitely there.
He's like kicking the wall, and and I think I hear him. Is he talking to us? Do you hear that?
Yes, he is. He is talking to us. Yeah, right here. Listen.
My God. This guy
right there.
He's snorting at us.
He's ready. He's got his oats. He's all ramped up for the ride home. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
Hi-O Silver, and away Arthur goes down the hill.
Oh, well, thanks, everybody, on a very fiery show here today. And we hope we didn't scare anybody away. But we've got some work to do, spiritual work to do. So join the party.
And pray for us, too, because we're wanting to expose the truth and take everybody upward. And please, we need protection, too. So if you send an angel my way, I'd be really grateful.
Both of us, please. That would be helpful. All right, well, thanks, everybody.
Bye, Arthur. See ya.
Bye, Gene. Visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com or stop by on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward and be sure to hit like on our page. Or visit YouTube and search for the Trek Upward Radio Show. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss another episode of the Trek Upward Radio Show. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5,600 feet production.